Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
Until now, we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Shopping needs, come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: Ntinda Station Road, opposite Makere Business School along Portbell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continued continuous support. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
Gwaonye doi wunyu lori kumbedo makin wupe chok. Mantera ne gwa oluto bo mechi ario kin in kidara mukene kara duchu pe jwik nyapa tuo corona. Ento pingo pire tek. Labon bedo makin wape opoke. Ngat matie ki tuo corona tuero pogone bod dana rio unyo adek mukene. Ngara chile kin joni gimeda nyim ki pogone bod dana rio unyo adek mukene. Gin bene gimeda nyim ki pogone bod dana rio unyo adek mukene kumeno. Ikene kare medwe achel keken no tuo ni unyao mako dano mia ngwen ki abichel. Ento ka ngara chile duogo piny kinu chuwel joma en rwate kwedgi, chuwel joma no tuo mano biduogo piny. Ngara chile no bupoko tuo ki ngara chile unyo dana rio, dok enjo eni bene gubu poko tuo bo dana chile unyo ikara mukene jo rio. Chituo ni nya mot. Idwe chile, no tuo ni onyaki kum ngara chile, umede kum dana para bich keken. Enu ni ayiteko pa bedu makin wape chok. Gwok olo to bo mechi ario kin in kidana mukene katwere, weke jwek kobo patuo, dorila akwo. Kaiti mukumenu ibigwoke, ibigwoko jo mai maro.
Lunchtime news, my name is Sharon. Kyomugisha Sanyunga. In our top stories of the day, one person has been confirmed dead after UPDF jet ranger crashed in Entebbe, Wakiso district. Brigadier General Flavia Biekwaso, the UPDF spokesperson, confirmed the incident and also identified the deceased as Captain Karo Businje, the pilot captain, and cadet pilot Abdullah Weka, who is nursing injuries at St. Mary's Hospital, Chisubi.
Traffic came to a standstill along Airport Road in Entebbe after a UPDF jet ranger crashed, leaving one person dead. The Uganda People's Defense Forces jet ranger with 2 crew on board dropped minutes after takeoff near Spina Beach in Entebbe, Wakiso district. Speaking in a phone interview, Brigadier General Flavia Biekwaso, the UPDF spokesperson, confirmed the incident, saying the pilot captain, identified as Karo Businje, died shortly after at Chisubi Hospital, while the cadet captain, Abdullah Weka, is still nursing wounds.
The pilot captain has passed on a few minutes ago, and the cadet pilot is being stabilized. The CT scan that has been made shows that he did get internal injuries, but is not yet very stable. The dead body is in Chisubi Hospital, and the cadet is also hospitalized in Chisubi. It was on a training session, so it was a mutual training flight, to use the exact words from the technical people.
Brigadier General Flavia Biekwaso says investigations into the circumstances that led to the plane crash have commenced.
It's subject to further investigations, really, especially about the cause. What could have caused this? Shall give the details in due course.
The incident comes just a few days after a UPDF helicopter crashed in Somalia, injuring 4 Ugandan soldiers. In January 2020, a UPDF jet ranger AF-302 came down in Butambala district, killing 2 soldiers instantly. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Very saddening news indeed, but may the Lord strengthen the family of the deceased and quick recovery to the cadet pilot. In more stories, the Ministry of Health is preparing to conduct the first phase of vaccination against COVID-19. The first phase will cover a total of 26.7 million categorized as vulnerable, representing 20% of the population. Details follow.
Uganda has placed an order to the Serum Institute of India for 18 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine to kickstart the vaccination against COVID-19.
After careful scientific and logistical considerations, Uganda opted for the AstraZeneca vaccine from Serum Institute of India because the vaccine technology has been tested for over a century, and the vaccine fridges in our health facilities meet the storage temperature requirements of 2 to 8 degrees. It is for the same reason that the Chinese vaccine is being considered for use in Uganda.
Though the delivery date of the vaccine is not yet known, the Ministry of Health confirms that the plan is to start with vulnerable population of 26.7 million people, which is 20% of the country's population.
35 to 40% of the vaccine, which is 1,420,800 doses, will arrive in the first quarter, which may be any time before the end of March. And 60 to 65%, which is 2,130,000 doses, will be available in the second quarter, which is any time between April to June.
However, the private sector in Uganda has not yet been cleared to participate in COVID-19 vaccination. The mutation of the virus is presenting new variants, a factor that might interrupt the vaccination process globally.
And you should know that always these viruses change, they mutate. Yeah, it's common for these viruses, especially the RNA viruses. But what has been strange with the variants the minister talked about in UK, South Africa, and Brazil, there were many mutations at the same time, and some of these mutations were in the spike protein, and they are leading to an increase in transmission. And for South Africa, leading to non-sensitivity to the vaccine. The recent viruses we have sequenced in Uganda, we are also seeing mutations coming in, including mutations in the spike region. We have not seen the variants that have the 501 mutation that has been reported elsewhere, but our viruses are also mutating. And what we are going to do is to continue monitoring.
Studies are, however, ongoing in laboratories around the world to confirm whether these variants do not respond to the vaccines. There are now reports that AstraZeneca vaccine may not be effective against the South African variant. Scientists may therefore change the composition of the antigens and the vaccines to address this or use alternative vaccines.
On a good note, Uganda is experiencing a drop in the number of COVID-19 cases, but the Ministry of Health still warns the public against being reluctant, saying another wave of the pandemic has been predicted.
The following numbers, therefore, represent a punctuation consistent with our seasonal variation patterns that is likely to be followed by emergence of what we shall consider as the second wave.
Uganda's cumulative number of COVID-19 confirmed cases stand at 39,911 and 328 deaths. Adia Nakute, UBC.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Sharon, says the country is on high alert and has intensified risk communication after a new Ebola case of Ebola virus disease was reported in DRC Congo. Now, Dr. Sharon disclosed this while addressing the media on the status of COVID-19 in the country at the media center. Take a look.
As you're all aware, Uganda shares a border at Bwera with the eastern side of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The distance is approximately 72.6 kilometers, thereby putting Uganda at high risk of importing Ebola virus disease. In light of this, the country has heightened surveillance and preparedness, and the following activities are being undertaken to prevent the importation of Ebola virus disease in Uganda. Activated the Ebola virus disease district task force, and 3, we dispatched a team of rapid response people to Kasese district, and they will be giving us a comprehensive information on the situation.
In more stories, Uganda has registered over 1,700 corruption cases in 2020, despite the COVID-19 lockdown, making it higher than 669 in 2019. According to the Deputy IGG, George Bamkemerere, the cases could have been higher than the reported ones if it was not because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Details follow.
A report by the Inspectorate of Government to Parliament indicates that in the year 2020, Uganda registered 1,707 corruption cases, And about 1 billion shillings was recovered in cash, while 1 billion was recovered from the seizing of assets. Of the 1,707 cases reported, 35 suspects were recommended for prosecution. Another 35 were recommended for arrest, 65 were dismissed from work, and 29 were interdicted, while the rest were referred for administration actions. Some of the high-profile cases include the alleged mismanagement of refugee funds by Office of the Prime Minister officials, alleged corruption practices by the 2 directors of Parliament, and alleged mismanagement of funds by officials at Uganda Police Force. According to the Deputy IGG George Bamgemereire, failure to supervise government officials by their superior is the biggest cause of corruption in the country.
Many of the people stealing public funds actually do not believe they are stealing. In our experience, people believe that they are borrowing money to solve local problems. It could be wedding, a funeral, school fees, and so on. And they don't steal in big amounts. They steal 10 million, and they keep hoping somebody will pick up the matter and say, well, where is the money? When they look and nobody has asked, then they borrow some more, another 20 million, then 50, until the amounts become so big that they can no longer pay it back. And maybe that's when the fraud is actually discovered. So the issue of supervision, accounting officers releasing money for projects and then not asking the people they've handed the money what they've done with the money, has been a problem.
The Ombudsman also urged the Parliament to speed up the process of passing the Leadership Code Act into law in order to strengthen measures of fighting corruption among government officials.
So the bill, I think, is currently at committee stage, but it's important that it is passed in time because in March, next March, we are entering a declaration period. And we had wished to ensure that this declaration happens when the tribunal has the full jurisdiction and the tools to hear cases of those who may not comply, because there will be cases of people who may not comply.
The Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, urged the institution to pull up the socks in fighting the cyber-related corruptions like the cryptocurrency fraud.
The other area, cryptocurrency, Ponzi schemes. You know, you really feel helpless when Ugandans come here, they have been cheated, they have been fleeced, and, you know, they can't get help. And somehow, the government, the Ministry of Finance does not appear to take much interest in what is happening. But people are being fleeced in this country in different ways. So I think it's an area that we need to work on to see that our people are more sensitized. But also Ugandans are very gullible. When I had people here crying, one officer had retired and got 140 million shillings as retirement benefits. And then he has put this kind of a Ponzi scheme. The first month he got money, the second month he got, the third month the people disappeared.
Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
In more news, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has been warned against implementing a proposal to tax bank without withdraw transactions. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, says there's need for scrutiny of the proposal before its implementation. This uproar results from a social media later confirmed to be from Ministry of Finance, later proposing a tax on bank withdrawals.
We would appreciate to receive your opinion and data not later than Friday, 12th February 2021.
This is the letter that is causing more alarm than whispers amongst the public. Confirmed to have been authored by Ministry of Finance, it proposes a tax on automated withdrawal transactions. The move has neither attracted nor been welcomed by the listening ears of members of Parliament.
Ugandans are paying quite big sums of money on mobile money, and it is because of the increment of that tax without us knowing. Madam Speaker, yesterday, social media was awash with another proposal to charge cash withdrawals. Because we have seen so many things that have gone on without Parliament passing them, yet they are mandatory to be commanded or to take place after Parliament has allowed.
Whereas State Minister for Finance, David Bahati, says it is still an internal matter under consultation, the public wants answers.
But in line with the rules of this House, we focus on something that is before the House or that is a proposal by law. But if this House is going to be discussing internal memos within the government department, it will be a tough job to do.
Maybe the minister should tell us what should we tell Ugandans, that it's going to behave and happen the way it has been happening before, because beaten once, Right Honourable Speaker, you know what happens next. So Ugandans are crying because they know it is going to happen.
It is at this point that the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, has warned against actualizing the move before going through Parliament.
Can we have an undertaking that you will not implement this before you come here for our authority? That's what we want.
Madam Speaker, we have never implemented any tax before the approval of Parliament, and we shall never implement any tax measure before it is approved by Parliament.
Currently, Ugandans part with some tax on some mobile money transactions. Members of Parliament do not want to see this happen to bank withdrawals. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Quite an interesting one. UBC will always keep you updated with what transpires in regards to the bank withdrawal taxes. Mbara District Administration is moving to Febuary sub-county headquarters, 17 kilometers away from the city. This is after it was displaced by Mbara City, which has now taken over the entire existing infrastructure the district has been using since colonial days. Though Mbara City Administration was willing to accommodate the district for the next 2 years, the newly elected leaders led by the district chairman Didas Tabaro have decided to move.
To stay in Mbarara for 2 years, we feel that when we locate here and start working towards the construction, we shall do it faster, and since the land is available, we shall tour it on Tuesday.
District is not a new district. It's new for now because of the administrative units having taken the city council. But now we are starting afresh as a new entity, but we are old here. So we want to make this district a model district, God willing, through cooperation, coordination, and communication. And together we can, because teamwork is the way to go.
We must start because starting is now. Number two, from our observation, we have some facilities which we can use to start as a district. There are even nearby buildings which we can rent within rather than being hosted at Kyomugisha. So our proposal is that we are going to take a survey and see the assets of the district. But as we start, we should start with what we have. We cannot wait for 2 years in Mbarara when we can start with what we have and then we develop as we progress.
Wait for 2 years is too long. 2 years is too long. We have got some buildings of Strabaga. We have got some new buildings which are old. We can repair those buildings and start from there. Because Rome was not built within a day, it took some years.
Then we can also plan other facilities that we shall have located on these premises. And for us who have been sent to Kampala as MPs, then we can go and start on a lobbying journey so that we get money for the construction of the different facilities that are needed to form a viable district administration.
We are going to sit, of course, as a committee of the district, and we see how fast we can renovate this building such that they can be habitable. You don't simply shift because you have to shift. Yeah, yet we have another home where we can be as we prepare ourselves. So it is just a question of time. It is not going to take long. The district shall come here at Febuary.
Sacrificing for the people that have voted us. Not putting money first, because there are a lot of things that will be required to do where there is no money For example, you can be called upon to come and attend a session or a meeting or a council meeting whereby there will be no allowance. But there is something that is requiring you to come into that meeting that cannot wait for your allowance.
We need some stakeholders living in Kampala, Jinja. We contribute so that we can get a startup to build the council hall and some offices, as we will prepare ourselves using these existing buildings.
We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with business news.
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100*2*1# to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In more stories, the UPDF Chief of Defence Forces, General David Muhoozi, has assured Ugandans, especially people in Karamoja sub-region, that the security is strong as the different security organs remain in total control of the state of affairs. General Muhoozi was officiating at the security meeting held at Moroto Barracks on constant cattle raids in the district of Moroto, Napak, Kotido, among others. The meeting was attended by State Minister for Karamoja, Moses Chizige, MPs, RDCs, LC5s, leaders and security officials from Karamoja sub-region.
Between 2001 to 2010, registered successes with over 40,000 guns recovered from the cattle rustlers and warriors. Relative peace returned to Karamoja sub-region. However, 2 years, the region seems to have gradually got back to square zero, with small pockets of cattle rustlers and armed warriors getting armed and resorting to cattle raiding, a chapter that security agencies of the state thought had closed. Intelligence clues indicated that most affected districts now include Kotido, Moroto, Napak, Karenga and Kabong. During the first security meeting in Kotido district, attended by State Minister for Karamoja Affairs Moses Chizige, 3rd Division Commander Joseph Balikudembe, LOC5 chairpersons, LOC3 chairpersons, RDCs and other security officials from Kotido and Kabong, leaders pinned some LODUs and UPDF officers who borrow out guns to the raiders. Some leaders here also faulted their colleagues of having a hand in the raids.
Only to find that I'm told by the leader that only 2 LODUs.
The State Minister for Karamoja Affairs Moses Chizige, however, holds a different opinion of working as a team to end cattle raids in Karamoja. Leaders cited some of the issues which should be done to ensure peace in the area, like branding animals per district, reviving peace committees, among others.
Maybe the rest of Uganda, but they can model themselves. We are the limitation to our own development and to the development. The sharing of information within our community, starting from the peace committees in the sub-communities to the chairperson of security.
However, some leaders say that cattle rustling is not about to end soon, and as community members volunteer to offer intelligence information about community members in possession of guns.
They are protected class even when they see someone.
That means there's something that's not.
We speak to our brothers who are doing all this. We go back home and speak to ourselves. Where did this children come from? From whose home? Do they have an island? We are not the only ones who can find us. My people of Jie, our name is Oto.
Due to the continuous raids in Karamoja sub-region, the CDF General David Mhozi held a security meeting at Moroto Military Barracks, attended by State Minister Karamoja Affairs Moses Chizige, LOC5 leaders, MPs, RDCs and security officials from Karamoja sub-region. General David Mhozi assured Ugandans of security as the security organs remained in total control of the state of affairs in Karamoja sub-region.
With uninterrupted peace speaks to the idea that peace can last, peace can be durable for Karamoja. But what we need to do is to cushion that peace. And what we need to do, I think, like happened in this meeting, is we need to reevaluate where.
According to statistics from the UPDF, 72 guns, 956 rounds of ammunition and 5,819 livestock were recovered since September last year. The statistics also show that 9,157 livestock were stolen, while 357 warriors were captured. The raids here are mainly tribal, such between the Jai from Kotido, Matheniko from Moroto, Dodoth and Bokora from Napak, Labor from Abim, and the Pokots of Amdat district. Story compiled by Maureen Iga for UBC News.
Well, thank you so much for watching UBC Lunchtime News with me, Sharon. Kyomugisha. Do stay tuned for more programming coming your way. And for more news, do join us follow us on our social media platforms, as there'll be more news for you at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. in English. Have a good afternoon.